Madam City Manager.
We are on unagendaed speakers.
Mr. City Clerk.
Mayor, we have several speakers. The first will be Rudy Ferguson, and he'll be followed by Manisha White. As earlier in the evening, if speakers will come to this microphone to their left, they'll have 3 minutes for their remarks, and I'll ask each speaker to provide their name and address for the record.
Good evening, Commissioners, Mr. Mayor, City Manager. Thank you all for this opportunity. First, before I go with my presentation, I certainly want to thank you all for the gun violence town hall meeting that was held at New Birth Tabernacle of Praise. I am the pastor there, Rudolph Ferguson, Senior, 1200 Harlem Street, Tallahassee, Florida. The reason I'm here today is to speak with you in regards to the combating gun violence in our community. One of the things that we have discussed on several things that would enhance the Griffin Heights neighborhood was dealing with the crime, the violence, and the drugs. We wanted to deal with that, and we've been combating that issue for a very long time. So we thought about how could we enhance our community. We already have some things that are already in place in that community, such as the John G. Riley Park, which is, as we all know, is not a park exactly. But certainly we believe that this body is able to bring that to reality. We have had the opportunity to walk through it. There is a sign that says John G. Riley Parks and Recreation. There is a trash can as well as a city ordinance. However, we're trying to find a way to bring that reality to bear. The park was, from my understanding, doing research, it was built in 1985. And to this day, almost 30 years later, it stands as the way it was built back in 1985. And certainly this body wasn't there when it was put in place, but certainly I believe this body has the authority and the power as well as the influence to bring this thing to bear. It's not about having the park necessarily. What it is about, it's about taking this park, this facility, and enhancing the community that has already been classified as the worst crime-ridden areas in Tallahassee, Florida. That is a sad commentary because I grew up in this community. I'm a positive product of the community, and I believe there are a lot of different positive products that can come from this community. Certainly we're not asking for cascades, we're not asking for waterfalls, but we are asking that this body would look deep into it and see exactly what they can do to bring this thing to bear. We believe, again, the residents, along with the Frontline Project, which I'm the executive director, and the members of the Griffin Heights Neighborhood Association feel that this would be a beautiful enhancement to the community. I believe that all the residents will sign on board, and this would also tell those who have scrupulous activities that we will no longer stand idly by and let our community deteriorate and decline further on into the future. So I'm asked that you all consider helping us in this endeavor. It is very important that we have this, and we hope and pray that it can be soon. We're not looking for another 30 years. We're looking for something that can be an immediate positive impact to a community that's already has been faced with a lot of gun violence, murder, drugs, high arrest records, poverty, you name it, we have it there. But nevertheless, we believe there is hope. We believe that this can be done.
Excuse me, your time's expired.
Thank you so much.
You're staying right there.
Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't move.
Thank you.
I can imagine where our discussion is going to go on this. And
just one brief comment, that's all. I wanted to, okay. Wait till I'm recognized. Do you want to go ahead and let the other speakers speak?
No, I was going to address what the Master said. We're certainly glad that you're here. I don't know exactly where this is, but we obviously need to do something, and whether or not it's the broken pane syndrome. You know, you find one broken pane in one house and they find another one, and it continues it deteriorates the neighborhood. So I would
Mr. Mayor, let me speak a little bit on that.
Sure, absolutely.
I think that what Reverend Ferguson is referring to, and you please correct me if I'm wrong, what we have at John G. Riley Park is a passive park. It was designed to be a passive park. It has nature. It's similar to A.J. Henry. It has nature trails. It has that kind of thing that the children at the school go and identify the flowers and that kind of thing. I think what Reverend Ferguson is saying is that this park is somewhat misplaced in the urban area that it's in, and that he would like to see some additional amenities associated with the park. I was really worried when I'd heard that there was concern that the park was overgrown or not managed well or taken care of well. And actually, for a passive park, it is managed. It is the overgrown is part of it, part of what it is. But I think what he's saying is he wants to see something different there in the future. And I assume that's what the request is.
This is right off Alabama Street.
Yes, sir, it is.
Yes.
Exactly where
Right
it is.
across the street from Riley School.
Yeah, right near Riley School. Okay, Commissioner.
If I could suggest, this is exactly the kind of thing that the CRA can address. And as we build up the reserves in the CRA, due to the fact that we've been able to get some development in other parts of the area, that money is going to spin off tax dollars that can be spent specifically in the Frenchtown Southside area. So to me, that's the perfect place. Starting in 2015, there's going to be some significant money coming in, and I would hope that that isn't 30 years away. That's only next year, rapidly approaching. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to have this conversation again with a little bit more concrete results at that point.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, before Pastor Ferguson leaves, I just want to pay him a huge compliment for taking the initiative and hosting the chief of police and the city manager, myself and others, the community at his church a few weeks ago. If you all were there to see the job he did in controlling what was an extremely passionate environment, he did it surrounded by the Spirit and really, I thought, brought the entire room to a common place of respect where folks entered that room feeling one way and I think left feeling much more empowered. In fact, we saw some evidence of it last week, and I saw some of the women again this week, where groups and coalitions are now forming to take initiative themselves, not waiting on us, not waiting on you, not waiting on anybody, but to take initiative themselves to address this gang violence issue. So just kudos to you for taking the initiative for hosting us.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I was going to add to that. Thank you, Pastor. I was out of the country or would have been at that meeting, but we appreciate your efforts and we'll look into this. And I know, being very familiar with that area, there's some overgrown lots that are not owned, that are in private ownership as well, that perhaps we can look at from a code enforcement standpoint that would help with the issue.
That'll work.
Thank you very much.
May I ask one more question, Reverend Ferguson?
Yes, ma'am.
I know that you've had several meetings since our original town hall meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
And will you be coming back to formally give some recommendations to the commission at some point? I'm taking it that you want to bring them one at a time. This is number one.
Yes,
will there be others as well?
Yes, ma'am. We had a meeting last night. It was very successful. We walked away with some tangible, immediate things that we can implement. And so we will be bringing that back to you in the coming months.
Thank you.
We want you to come back and let us know what's going on.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much.